What could drive someone to take an innocent life on a serene college campus? The question hung in the air like a dark cloud over the picturesque grounds of the university. The unthinkable had occurred. Sarah, a vibrant college girl, was gone. Her absence left a void, a chilling silence that echoed through the corridors and classrooms. As news of the tragedy spread, shock and horror rippled across the campus, a profound sense of disbelief setting in. Amidst the pandemonium, a beacon of hope arrived. Detective Dush, a seasoned investigator known for his sharp intellect and uncanny ability to unravel the most intricate of mysteries, stepped onto the scene. The once bustling campus was eerily silent, its jovial spirit tainted by the dreadful aura of the crime scene. As Detective Dush surveyed the scene, the grim reality of the situation set in. With a heavy heart and a mind full of questions, Detective Dush began his investigation. Every piece of evidence tells a story, and Detective Dush was about to read them like an open book. Meticulous, methodical, and with a knack for detail, Detective Dush approached the crime scene. A collage girl's life cut short, her dreams and potential extinguished. But who committed this heinous act, and why? That was the question burning in Dush's mind. He started with the most obvious clue: the tire tracks. They were fresh, leading away from the crime scene. These weren't just any tire tracks. They were unique, a pattern that spoke of a specific brand and model. Whoever left these tracks had used a getaway vehicle, and Detective Dush was already building a mental picture of the car. Next, he turned his attention to Sarah's phone, her digital world that could potentially hold the key to the mystery. He delved into the labyrinth of her text messages, looking for patterns, anomalies, anything that stood out. And sure enough, he found something. Among the sea of messages, there were a few that caught his eye. Messages from one of her friends. They were disturbing, filled with resentment, envy, and a hint of threat. He jotted down the name of this friend. Could he be the suspect? Only time and more evidence would tell. Detective Dush was not one to jump to conclusions, though. He knew that the truth was often buried deep, obscured by layers of deceit and diversion. But he also knew that every piece of evidence brought him one step closer to the truth. He left the crime scene with the tire tracks etched in his mind and the disturbing text messages imprinted on his thoughts. His intuition told him he was on the right track, but there was more work to be done, more clues to unearth. The tire tracks and the text messages were the breadcrumbs leading Detective Dush towards the truth. The truth, as they say, is stranger than fiction. And this was about to become evident in Detective Dush's investigation. Undeterred by the grim nature of his task, Detective Dush set about interrogating Sarah's friends, each conversation a step closer to unmasking the murderer. In the midst of these interactions, a pattern began to emerge. Unseen rivalries and unsaid resentments started to surface. One of Sarah's friends, it seemed, harbored a secret grudge. This wasn't a fleeting irritation or a simple misunderstanding. No, it was a deep-seated jealousy that had taken root and grown, poisoning their friendship from within. This friend, as Dush discovered, had been nursing this resentment for a long time. It was a silent serpent, slithering through their relationship, unseen but ever present. And as it turned out, this friend also owned a car, but not just any car. A car that bore a striking resemblance to the one linked to the tire tracks found at the crime scene. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, and the picture they were forming was more disturbing than anyone could have anticipated. With each revelation, the murky waters of this investigation were gradually clearing. The faceless villain was starting to take form. And it wasn't an outsider, a stranger, or a random act of violence. The person responsible for Sarah's demise was someone she knew, someone she trusted, someone she called a friend. But as Dush was about to discover, sometimes friends can turn into the most ruthless foes, and sometimes the most dangerous enemies are the ones we never see coming, the ones that hide in plain sight, behind a familiar face and a friendly smile. In the end, the murderer was not a faceless monster, but a friend turned foe, a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest threats lurk in the most familiar places. But what could possibly motivate a friend to commit such a heinous act? As Detective Dush delved deeper into the case, the tangled web of envy and resentment began to unravel. The friend, once a beacon of trust and camaraderie, was now a shrouded figure of malevolence. Consumed by the green-eyed monster of jealousy, the friend had been festering a deep-seated grudge against Sarah. Sarah, a college girl with a bright future and an infectious zest for life, had been unknowingly outshining her friend. Her popularity, her success, her radiant spirit, they all cast a shadow over her friend's existence. This shadow, dark and cold, gradually turned into a vortex of resentment and envy. It was this vortex, this whirlpool of negative emotions that led to the unthinkable, the murder of Sarah. As Detective Dush solved the case, he left us with a haunting question: how well do we truly know the people around us?